Well, we are 15 weeks from the first night. And I won't be this calm when it comes to opening night, obviously. I'm not calm now, though. Well, it's a habit of my lifetime to try and appear collected. I'm actually not. We have the most beautiful cast for the play now, and lovely people came forward to say they wanted to be in it and read for it, and I could have cast anybody. I'm so pleased that Viv Tomlinson and Dorothy Barlow and Vicky Jameson, Andrew Tyra, no relation, and David Darrington are going to take the parts. Not easy parts that I've written, and probably very clumsily written too, since this is the first thing I've written since Clive and I did Ragnarok in 1996, I think. It might have been earlier than that. Anyway, the play was given a new sharpness over this weekend because we had this beautiful celebration for Jan Kochanowski's poetry in the gardens of Anne Hathaway and in the Guild Chapel, an event that was organised by the Polish Cultural Institute, Karolina Goradja and in Stratford, the wonderful Margosia Librowska. Hope I've got that right. Anyway, we were asked to come along. A few of us were asked to come along and give a reading of some Renaissance poetry, including Kochanowski, Shakespeare, Pierre de Ronsard, and Petrarch, and Louis de Camaniche. I think I've said that right. I hope so. And the wonderful Richard and Chris and Alex and Pamela. And Jackie Campbell did the costumes for us. And Chris Dobson, who played Kochanowski. And we had a great time in the gardens doing this semi-improvised piece in which we read these beautiful poems. And what was incredible about that event was not only that people had given so much time and effort and enthusiasm to it, which is the same for this production that I'm documenting. So many people have stepped forward, as well as the cast, to say that they'll give of their hearts to it, because that's what it is when you volunteer to take part in a piece of public theatre, I suppose. And the wonderful Richard Ball, and who's now going to do our lighting for us, and Ginny Oliver, who's going to be our stage manager, and Emma Beasley, and Tom Purchase Rathbone, and Barry Purchase Rathbone, who are going to be the ASMs, and Georgina Monk, who's going to help with the prompting, and Nick Lemessurier, who's assistant director and also producer. And we were talking about these things, Nick and I, during the week, and thank you, Nick, for helping with the auditions and helping with the casting and helping with conversations about the play, really. And what we were talking about, Nick and I, was kind of brought to life in this unveiling of the statue of Jan Kochanowski on Saturday, which we were privileged to be invited to and to perform at. Polish ambassador was there and the mayor, and they pulled off the Polish flag from this statue of Kochanowski, who's looking up into the sky with rage and sadness at the loss of his daughter, Ursula, but manages to speak. Even though with the death of his daughter, you would imagine it to be perfectly reasonable to have no stories to tell. like Hamlet, Shakespeare's son, Freudian slip there. Dying didn't signal the end of creativity, but perhaps prompted an outpouring of creativity in the poetry of the laments and the poetry of drama of Shakespeare's life. And I suppose I'm trying to contribute my own creativity in the face of huge losses that were endured by people in my own ancestry. My grandfather, who, as I said in the previous documentary, was almost certainly executed as part of the Katyn massacres. 22,000 people executed across the Katyn area in eastern Poland and what is now Belarus. So what does one do in the face of this darkness is to try and bring a little light. So that's what I think I'm trying to do, really. And I'm so pleased that everybody who's committing to it has perhaps seen a glimpse of this. And then right at the heart of this play, I hope, is an even broader relevance, I think, because it's one that, when I started writing it, I felt so much that I wanted to mark somehow the passing of, time. Because I started writing it when I was 60. And not only was I making these discoveries about my Polish ancestry, but also being 60, which is really a bizarre milestone. You just can't believe. I just couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. When I say to people now that I'm 62, I just can't believe that is the case. I've never been happier in my entire life at this point. And that's a great, great gift that I'm deeply grateful for. But being 60 means that there is this opportunity to reflect and an opportunity to perhaps explore rather than say something about being older. All of the characters in this play are at a point in their lives where they're reflecting, regretting, loving, being compassionate, seeking forgiveness, seeking healing, and also being in a position where they can offer all of that to the people around them. So what I've tried to do, I hope, is with as much, truth, as much in as plausible a manner as I can, imagine what it is like to bring together people who need forgiveness and can give it to one another. Can they do it? And we all know in our lives that is possible. But we don't always do it, and I don't always do it. And the sharpness of being over 21 presents, an opportunity to think, well, how is this end of life to be lived with as much richness and depth as one can manage? Perhaps it's something to do with seeking peace, I think. That does feel right, actually, because isn't peace the most precious thing that we can have in our lives? feels so. It feels so to me in the moment. So let me finish with this. This wonderful weekend that Malgosia Karolina had organised for us was an opportunity. There were there were such a broad spectrum of people who'd come together to celebrate this poet. Manuela was there, so there was Italy and Poland and England, and I'm sure many other nationalities. And the mayor was there, the mayor of Stratford. So there was, there were hands being linked across all of Europe to celebrate a poet who endured great pain and produced great beauty. And that was really beautifully articulated in the statue and in the occasion, actually. Music and readings and poetry and art and drama and costume. In the late afternoon sun of this gorgeous garden. And beneath the Polish flag was this personification of hope. So that's where I am at the moment, really. It's not trying to make it more difficult for myself. Oh no! But I can't do. I just want to. Make something that matters, I think, and to honour the past, to help protect the present, and to make a tiny, tiny, tiny contribution, to peace, I think. So, well, if you've been listening, thank you very much. I do this as much for anybody else as I do for myself. I think I want to have a record of this really important process to me. And to Witold, my grandfather, and to Jadwiga, my grandmother, and Isabella, my birth mother. So, I'll have a go at another one next week. Dobranoc.